Zach, what is going on, my friend?
What's up, Edward?
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Um, so I've been trying to figure out another what if because I'm kind of liking that at the intros, and we've gotten a little bit of feedback here and there via text or whatever, and people are like giving their opinions on stuff like that. So one of them was if you go into a bathroom
Okay.
and you were
Wait, like
sexually
your home bathroom or a public bathroom?
any bathroom.
Just the bathroom, just a place for the
Yep.
toilet. Sounds good.
One of the following scents arouse you arouses you, excuse me.
Okay.
Piss or shit?
Hold on, like I have to pick one.
Yes.
I have to pick one that would get me like a diamond in an ice storm.
Yep.
Um, I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
I, I'm probably going to go with probably piss because there's less of a scent of that or strong pungent smell like shit. I mean, unless
have
you're
you ever
around
been in a
people,
bathroom where they haven't flushed the toilet in like 10 days?
fucking urinals or not
Yeah.
urinals,
Well, the
porta
trough.
potties too. The
Yeah, well,
fucking troughs. Ugh.
yeah.
I don't know why I started it with that one. That was just one I scrolled through, and that was the first thing I saw. Apologize to everybody for the shitty. What would you do, or what would you pick?
Yeah, I mean, it
No
literally.
pun intended.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you mean to do that?
Fuck it. Let's just start the show.
You ready?
Fucking hit it.
Woo!
I'm an idiot.
That's all right.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. I'm Ed.
I'm Zach.
And here we are again for another shit show. Hope you brought your bucket because there's going to be a bunch of it.
I'm wearing waders.
We're right back into it again. The man of the hour, still possible related to Bill Cosby, is Mr. Deshaun Watson. Mr. Deshaun Watson is now up to 19 lawsuits or 19 allegations, or a ton of women are coming out and saying he's putting his ding ding on their wrist or some shit like that.
He's doing some dumb shit.
It's starting to come out to where there might be a fire following this smoke trail.
I told you where there's smoke, there's fire.
And you know, normally
I didn't know how bad. I didn't know it was going to be. Hey, you know what? Your star quarterback for Houston is a pervert. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's where we were going.
So
that's the way it sounds.
The latest lawsuit includes a woman who says the same thing as all the others, but is also saying that there's Instagram DMs that he's possibly deleted. Now, how she knows that, unless she goes through his phone or something, I wouldn't know.
Well, so they tested it out on one of the local radio stations, and basically one of the guys sent his friend that works on the radio station the message penis, right? So
as one does.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. And then he was able to unsend the message, and the guy who he sent it to never could see it again.
Oh, yeah, wow.
See, that's something that I didn't know about. I'm learning all kinds of new stuff.
Now, is there something on there that indicates like a message has been deleted or anything?
Well, no, I guess that's the argument, is they're saying that it was on there and now all of a sudden you can't see it.
Oh, see, knowing that though, like unless she has screenshots.
Exactly. It's their word versus his, which is what it always has been, which is why until they can find like the smoking gun, there's going to be a like a settlement pretty shortly.
I'm worried about it because of the fact that one, his attorney has come out and said something here and there a little bit, but nothing major, and he hasn't even come out with a statement saying these hoes be lying.
Well, so hey, can we say something like? Do you know the attorney, the name of the attorney for Deshaun Watson?
Mm-mm.
His last name is Harden. That motherfucker ain't going to Houston. He ain't going to win shit in Houston. Oh, man. He's probably trying to sign with the Nets right now.
Hey, he's going to get to court and then just not play ball. Like, no defense whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. He's going to talk all that kind of game in the press conferences. He's going to drop money at the strip club.
He's going to go hard.
But no buckets in the courtroom.
No. Speaking of that, you see James Harden now is just straight out balling out. Like,
it irritates me how the New York media is like, oh yeah, he's really transformed his image and he's a team guy. Bitch, we know who that guy is. He ain't nobody.
But you look at him too, like he's still doing the same shit he was in Houston. He's got a little bit more confidence now that he has
Do
two
you
other
see the team
superstars.
around him?
That is true.
The
With them
lowest
picking up
person on the starting five is LaMarcus Aldridge. Are you fucking kidding me?
that pickup
Jesus
of Blake
Christ.
Griffin was pretty much the final nail in the coffin.
Like the only team that even stands a chance now is the Lakers. And the Lakers even have to add a piece to compete with that team. Any one of those guys can drop 30 almost in a quarter.
It's nasty.
Ugh.
And I've had this talk with people recently, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like basketball anymore is because of the fact that you can get these super teams and they just dominate. But you know, some people say, "Well, the Yankees do that." Well, when was the last time the Wankies?
Hey, that's good enough.
The Yankees won a World Series. Yeah, they're dropping fat cash on people, but I mean,
it's been what 15 years,
something like that, right?
I think that was when A-Rod was slapping gloves.
I don't know, man. But back to Deshaun. Something's. If we're gonna keep repeating the same crap over and over, he said, she said bullshit. Like something needs to come up. Something, some type of evidence. I keep hearing both sides. Oh, we have this evidence that we're going to present, and blah blah blah. But nothing's coming out yet. So
yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's weird. I mean, it sounds like he has a fetish for massage therapists, I guess, or maybe because some of these women, they're not even massage therapists. They've never even given a massage. This was like their first one, and he was like, "No, that's cool. I can show you what to do." And then he just took care of it himself, I guess. I don't really know.
Did he get like a minor in masseuse at Clemson?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a minor chub. I'm not sure. I don't know, dude. I don't know what he's actually going after, but some of the transcripts of what these people are saying, like that they're accusing him of, they were just basically giving him a massage and then he like splooged everywhere. That's like the gist of what I've understood. The jizz of.
I was just about to say the jizz of everything. But here's my thing: like, if you're trying to shoot your game with these masseuses, if that's the proper term, masseuse,
massages.
masseuses.
I don't know.
If you're shooting your shot with these cats, and then you're blowing your load, like
shooting your shot. What's wrong with you?
Like, if you're, they're not even doing anything but giving you a rub down in more ways than one, I guess. And you're,
that's the exciting part, right? Like I can understand like a full on rub on, right?
Right.
You get my drift? Y'all with me? I get that. But like, hey, massage my quad. Oh shit. Like I don't get that.
Baby, get that bunion. Oh,
right. Yeah. Hey, can you rub right in between my third and fourth toe? Oh,
that's the spot.
I don't get it. It's so weird, man. Look, hey, people are into whatever they're into, and at least these are adult women, right?
That is true.
That, but like, you're Deshaun Watson. Like, you could go to what's the big mall in Houston?
Galleria.
You can go to the Galleria and just walk around and be like, "Hey, baby, give me a massage," and people would wait in line to do that. So
would you?
I don't understand why he had to like venture out and find women that would be uncomfortable with what he wanted. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird to me.
Outside of it being a digital era now, like, he's bringing in women that aren't in the same city. So one, he's not getting any tie downs.
Well, okay, but I mean,
he's all this shit's documented, right? In some form or fashion, if it happened. Now, I'm very curious, and I don't know the laws of this, but if prosecutors or whoever, lawyers, start asking Instagram, "Hey, we need texts. We need to see all these."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the privacy laws are. I don't know if like when you sign up for Instagram, it says, "Hey, if the police come asking or the FBI come asking, like we're giving them all." We
snitching
shit.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. Hey, look. Snitches may get stitches, but you can't catch us. I don't even care.
Let this be, a good lesson for everybody else. Whether you're a superstar or you're just an average Joe, if you're going to get massages and you're worried about this chick or dude, whoever's rubbing you, is going to come out later and say something, record the damn session. I guess you have to get consent first.
Why can't we're adults? Why can't you just tell them, hey, this is exactly what I want. We'll be two consenting adults. And if you're not comfortable with it, then we don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Because like that, I think that's the hurdle that we're talking about. Like, I'm with you about like recording it and protecting yourself. And I get all that. But I'm saying as Deshaun Watson, just find someone who's happy with giving you a rub and tug, man. I mean, you don't have to like spring it on anybody like, oh, hey, surprise. I mean, unless that's like what he wants. And then that's weird. That's a whole other.
I can't wait for all this to be over with. And let's just say hypothetically, he is found guilty of all this. And, a couple years down the road, ESPN Plus does a 30 for 30 special.
Yeah.
And he finally comes out and says, I have an addiction with being massaged or whatever it may be. Or let's just hope that it just comes out and all this was false. And then we can go on with our lives like this never happened.
So that's right. That's how I feel about it too. Like, okay, so on one side of the coin, everything's false and they were just after money, right? Does that make you feel better? Or does it make you feel better that, he's a superstar quarterback, but he's got a weird fetish and he basically sexually assaulted 19 women? So like, I don't know which is better because either way, society failed.
True. If he's found guilty, do you think there's going to be a whole group of people that like sympathize for him?
No. How can you sympathize for anybody like that? Like,
I don't know.
I guess I see what you're saying. If he has a true addiction,
right?
Then, yeah, like, is he getting in trouble because this is like a cry for help and he doesn't really know how to ask? Because if he tells because I mean, like, let's be honest. Say we went back 10 years. Well, how long have we been with our wives? Say we went 13 years, 14 years back in the past, right? You know what I meant.
Calm down, Michael J. Fox.
Right, yeah. So we went 14 years. We go 14 years into the past.
YouTube viewers will get that.
We're both single. And I come in your room in our apartment back in the day, and I'm like, hey, so I think I'm addicted to sex.
I'm addicted to porn.
Like how bad would you laugh at me?
Yeah.
Right? So it's very possible.
So where's the problem?
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so basically you need more lotion.
But no, there's a difference with that. There's a difference because one, you're either taking care of yourself, or two, you're finding consenting people with that. You're not going around and being like,
but
hey,
what if
dude,
I'm coming to tell you like, hey, I actually have a problem. I'm like flying people in from Dallas. Right?
Dude,
like we didn't make any money. So you can only imagine.
If you're doing something like that and if you feel like it's a problem, of course you're my boy, so I'm going to help you out with it, right? But
at first, your first response 15 years ago would have been to laugh at me.
Right.
Because I'm going to be totally honest, I'd have fucking laughed in your face. I would have.
Okay, so again, I get where you're going with this, but I think comparing it to Deshaun's deal is kind of a little bit different in the way because of the fact that these women are not knowing what to expect going into this.
Well, you know what I just thought about? It's very possible. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I'm just thinking it's very possible that he didn't even think he was doing anything wrong because he's not touching. Well, from what we found out so far, he's not touching them, right? He's not like, penetrating.
He's
them
not raping them,
right? Yeah, he's not raping them. So in his mind, maybe he thought what he was doing was totally normal.
Maybe. And it could go back from how he grew up or past experiences like in college.
Or maybe he's just completely ignorant to the law. Who knows?
Or it could have been stuff that happened early on in his NFL career, like went and got a massage his rookie year and the chick did this. And so now he's chasing the dragon to see if that same thing can happen again.
Yeah, I mean, like he just thought that was just how massages always ended.
They don't. For anybody who hasn't had a massage, they don't end up that way.
I'll be totally honest. I'm not a fan of the massage thing. Yeah. I don't like people touching me, which is weird. Not a fan. It's just odd. I don't understand the entire thought process of, hey, I'm going to pay money. I'm going to go into a dark room with a stranger and take, you know what? This actually sounds pretty good. But go into a dark room with a stranger, take my clothes off, and then they're going to touch me like all over my body. Don't even know them.
Right.
but they're going to touch all of my body.
Well,
That sounds like a setup to get robbed.
the business model has been going around for years and years and years, and I mean, you really don't hear of stories of a thumb in the old bum from a masseuse during the whole thing. You have heard of, the happy endings and stuff like that
I've
in
heard of
certain
that,
areas.
of course.
Robbery, I hear more. I think I've heard probably more stories on the customer side robbing a massage parlor rather than the other way around.
How do you rob a massage parlor in the nude?
I mean, are you going to chase somebody down who's butt ass naked?
Well, I mean, it kind of depends on like if she took $20, have at it. I ain't running after anybody for $20. But you take $2,000, you better believe I'm chasing you down. And I'm going to try to knock your ass down on concrete so you get like a full body rash. Dude, fuck that.
I don't know, man. If the kid's got a problem, he needs to come out and go ahead and say something. Get this heat off of him. Let help be found for him. At the end of the day, if he's not having an addiction or something like that, and he's just trying to pull his name around saying, hey, look, I'm Deshaun Watson. You're going to touch this dick.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. And that's what we're hoping is not what's going on.
Right, because you always want to see the good in everybody, but like you said, you don't know how people really are. So hopefully more news on this will come out soon as far as a result, and not as far as more allegations or lawsuits. But if they keep piling up, and this kid's going to have to pay a lot of money, and if the NFL gets involved with it and he doesn't get to play, good luck paying it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more afraid now that it's going to come out that he's going to say he has an addiction just to try to like ease the thought of him and like the court of public opinion.
Right.
That's more of what I'm afraid of, because then that's where it gets to, if you have an addiction and you come out and you say you have an addiction, either like the stigma is either you're lying and you're making it up, or what the hell's the matter with you? You're getting all kinds of play. Like, why are you saying you're addicted to? You know what I mean? Like, it's a double-edged sword. Either people are going to laugh at you for you to say that you're addicted, or people are going to like think that you're just doing it as a cop-out. And I think now, because it's gone on for so long, it's going to look like a cop-out. And I'm sure, even if it is like truly an addiction, that's like the hardest part to talk about of yourself, right?
Right.
If you're addicted to alcohol or drugs or whatever, you don't want to tell people that you're addicted, because then everybody's like, oh my God, like you're not the person that we thought you were.
Right.
They don't trust you and they treat you differently, and then they're not there for you. It's just,
either
way, it's a bad look. But like you said, I'm with you. I hope if he really has a problem, I hope he can get the help that he needs, because I mean, he's a human at the end of the day. Right. And I hope that he hasn't really scarred any of these women that are claiming that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope it's not as bad as it looks right now, because if it is, there's just too many people losing, man.
Well, like I said, hopefully more news comes out here pretty soon, and then we can just move on with this.
So moving on in the NFL, have you been listening to the draft trades that have been going down?
The San Francisco 49ers made some action.
The Dolphins made out like fucking bandits, man.
Bro, the way that they maneuvered all that was
that's like draft day shit. That's like a movie. Well, how did they do that?
They did something.
That was great, man. I'm really impressed with the fact that the 49ers, after they made the trade, they came out and they're like, but Jimmy G's still going to be our quarterback.
They hit on that quick.
Well, because they had to do some damage. I guess they pissed off Jimmy G. But look, man, you haven't played worth a shit in 3 years. Like, you need to realize that you don't get that big a leash in the NFL unless you're fucking Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
They traded the number 3 overall pick to San Francisco for the number 12 pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and a first-round pick in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah. Isn't that incredible?
That's just the first part of it, right?
Right. Then they traded back to get to number 6. Because now the Dolphins have number 6. Because they traded with the Eagles.
I'm trying to find that breakdown as well.
They got let's see. They had to give away a number 6 or they had to give away a number 1 pick to the Eagles. I don't know all the details. I had it a second ago and I closed out the screen. But now they're saying that the Eagles will only wanted to stay with the number 6 pick if they could draft Zach Wilson. And when the 49ers moved up to number 3, then they were like, well, we'll move back. We'll get out of the number 6 spot. And then they're hoping that they can draft the tight end.
Eagles traded the 12th overall pick in the 2021 draft, a 4th round pick, and a 2022 first round pick from the Dolphins in exchange for the 6th overall pick, 5th round pick. Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible, right?
So this makes it very, very interesting now. So do you see Zach Wilson going with the Niners?
No. So I have always thought no matter what happens, Zach Wilson will be the second quarterback taken off the board. But based on some of the rumblings coming from New York, Zach Wilson's going to get drafted number 2.
That's crazy.
I agree with you. And then that means that either they're going to let him learn behind Sam Darnold, or I think what I would do is I would let Zach Wilson sit behind Sam Darnold and then let Sam Darnold boost up his draft stat, or his trade value.
See, but here's where you get in trouble with that. You start doing that, and let's say, like I've been predicting, that Sam Darnold comes out and becomes the monster that everybody expected him to be. Well, fuck, now you're sitting on Sam Darnold. Do you want to get rid of him? And he's doing so great.
Yeah, but now you have the second hottest commodity at quarterback in the draft that hasn't played a year, but he's been able to already learn the NFL, learn the go around, learn, what's expected of a quarterback. You know what I mean? The newness is off, and now he's ready to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that. I mean, personally, I don't think they're going to keep Sam Darnold. I don't think that that's happening at all. I thought they were going to when they made a couple of the moves that they've made so far in the offseason. And I was really hoping Sam Darnold would get a chance. But I think because now that the 49ers have moved to number 3, the Jets' number 2 pick is not as high a value, I guess, unless they take Zach Wilson. Now, it's very possible they could take Zach Wilson and then trade him after the draft. But I'm thinking right now, they just haven't gotten the offers that they think that pick is worth.
Right. I personally think that if they don't trade Sam Darnold by draft day, they're not drafting a quarterback. I think they're going to go ahead and get one of the top wide receivers to complement with Corey Davis and let Sam Darnold do his thing and then roll the dice on the following year's draft.
I mean, look, I hope for Sam Darnold's sake that they stay with him. I mean, I think he's a good quarterback. I mean, we both agree he's a talent. I think he's kind of got a raw deal in New York, but I don't know. Watching Zach Wilson throw the football, it's tough to not want to draft a guy like that when you have a shot. You know what I mean?
So, since we're on the topic of Zach Wilson, I've been a little aggravated or agitated towards him as a topic because, one, he had one great year in college, right?
Yeah, but it was pretty spectacular.
Okay, but what about how many years was he at BYU? 3?
3. Well, I mean,
and he started his second year, and he kind of shit the bed on it, and then last year,
but it's BYU though. I mean, it's not really like a mega talented team.
But that's something else that has to be brought into factors, right? I know the experts and the professionals who do this better than us look at the strength of the schedules and how they did against that, right?
Like, well, we think that, and then they have Trey Lance going number 3. I knew that would set you off.
But I hear about Zach Wilson having his pro day the other day, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to watch it. I'm you know me, I'm against pro day. I think it's a complete waste of time. Fuck your 40 time, okay? You're running around in your fucking underwear going 40
Yeah.
yards. Like, put some fucking pads on and then let me know what your 40 time is. Then I might be a little impressed, okay? Same thing for the vertical and everything else. Whatever, right? So
Yeah, I'm
I
with
type in on the YouTube, not to want to be athletes talk sports, but I typed in Zach Wilson Pro Day.
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling through and I'm trying to find one that has pretty much the whole film of it, right? There's a bunch of highlights and stuff like that. One of them had on there Zach Wilson is the next Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
What?
Well, okay, so
What?
you know how it is. Think about like the most controversial person in like sports talk, television, radio, whatever.
Okay.
Skip Bayless. Right?
Oh, okay.
What does he do?
He goes for shock and awe, right? He wants
Exactly.
clickbait. And
So
I get it.
someone out there just thought, you know what'll get me a lot of hits? If I compare him to Patrick Mahomes.
But you know why they probably put that? Not only for clickbait, because in his pro day he had a couple of crossbody throws. Big fucking deal.
So like, what you say that
It is. It's not a big deal.
The athleticism to be rolling out to your left and throw a dime across the field at 60 yards, that's pretty special. And I mean, the problem is that will that ever happen in a game? Probably not, because there's a backside safety on almost every play, and that's a pick.
Let me ask you this, Zach. Could you go out onto a field, do a crossbody throw to a receiver that's not being covered, that has no defense rushing at you?
I mean, yeah, like 30 yards down the field, yeah. But
okay,
60
but
yards
you
down the field, no.
That's my point, though, is the fact
but
that
you're talking about him. You're talking about him throwing in his underwear. I'm with you on all that. He's wearing basketball shorts. He's running around. He's looking cool. There's no rush. There's no linebackers. There's no safeties.
There's no decision making.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you have an NFL caliber arm, you can make all of these throws, right? The only quarterback that can't make these throws is like Chad Pennington from way back in the day, right? That's it. But most of these guys, I would say 98% of all the quarterbacks in the draft can make that throw.
I just don't understand why we put so much time and effort and energy into fucking pro days when
there's nothing else to talk about. That's why.
I guess, but they need to have some type of simulation to where show some pressure on him, show his decision making. You put BYU against Bama. Let's see how Zach Wilson does. Okay.
Well, I mean,
put him against Clemson. Let's see how he does.
Well, he might have done pretty good against Clemson because their defense was.
Well, but you get what I'm saying. BYU playing who they play, U of H and
like Utah and
right. And I'm not taking anything away from them. It's the same concept with Trey Lance being in North Dakota State and playing all these FCS teams. Right. I get that. He's a body that fills the spot to where, okay, he might be a name we need to look out for in the draft. I totally get it. But if you're going to get all fucking happy and jizz all over yourself because of the fact he had a great pro day, stop talking to me. Okay.
Right, so I'm with you. Like if your whole draft stock is based on the throws he makes, like on a pro day, then you're not a true NFL scout. But these media people that are on the radio or on NFL Network or whatever, they've got to talk about something. And, you know, it's a pro day. So all the cameras showed up. So everybody was there. All the scouts for most teams were there. So, I mean, it's a sports event. You got to talk about it. But you're not, to me, I don't think you're taking away, oh my God, look at this throw. I think you're watching like, you know what? There's no rush. There's no, you know, like like nothing's going on. All he should be doing is everything fundamentally sound. And you didn't see that from Zach Wilson. Now, every throw was on target. Every throw was where it needed to be. And the arm talent is obviously there. But when you watch his feet weren't perfect. Right. And I feel like that is more of what I'm looking at. Like if I'm going to take anything away, I'm going to look at, you know what? There was no rush. There's nobody like, you know, pursuing him. He's not running away from anybody. He's making these throws normal and he's being lazy with it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like on a pro day like that, every step should be crisp. Every throw should be step off the back foot and coming forward. There should be no like jumping up in the air and trying to make, none of that should have happened.
Your basic fundamentals, that's what you grew up on as a quarterback or a wide receiver or cornerback,
Right.
should come into play because you've been doing this a majority of your life.
Right.
And mistakes shouldn't happen when there's no pressure.
Right. And that's that. I mean, not to say that his pro day was not impressive, because it actually was. I know that we talk a lot of shit about pro days, but the arm talent, I mean, the kid is a number 1 round or a first round draft pick for the NFL.
Right.
Like, clearly he can throw the football. Clearly everything that he was going to do was going to be, you know, spectacular.
Right.
And it was. Now, I mean, the only, like, I guess what we're trying to say is about a pro day is that really all that you're going to do is hurt your draft stock.
Absolutely.
I think if you go out there and you're overthrowing guys by 15 yards, or you can't hit a slant or something like that, like, obviously that's bad, but we haven't seen any of that. And even Trey Lance, his pro day was not impressive.
No.
But I mean, he didn't hurt his stock. I mean, he was just a guy. I don't know. I know that we're talking about Zach Wilson. I can't get over this Trey Lance kid.
Welcome to my world.
I don't get it.
And you know what? I surveyed some people in person who actually pay attention to sports, and I asked them, I said, give me your opinion on Trey Lance and why he is a quarterback being talked about. And everybody gave the same answer that you gave. His size, his height and his size is the only reason. But is he, like, okay, I get it. He's 6'4", 220, some shit like that, 240. And
yeah, he's a little bit shorter than Cam Newton, like half an inch shorter.
Does that mean that he needs to be talked about in the first round? I don't think so.
But okay, we always talk about this with the draft. And you know what's not sexy is drafting a piece that you need. So drafting an offensive lineman, drafting a linebacker. Well, I mean, that's sexy. But I'm just saying, like, the position that is most reached for is quarterback. And so it's hard to justify, hey, here's this guy, Trey Lance, 6'4", 245, runs a 4.5 40 or whatever, throws the ball 9 million miles. But I'm just saying, it's hard to tell your fan base, hey, I passed on this guy because we needed a linebacker. You know what I mean? And then he goes to, I don't know a team, but he goes to Florida somewhere. I don't even care what team. He goes to Miami. Let's just say he goes to Miami and he lights it up and he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. Now your fan base is like, hey, what the fuck, man? You had a shot at drafting this guy and you didn't do it. And that right there is why teams reach for players like this.
I don't know. Me personally, I am more of a fan of wide receivers because they're the ones that make the plays, right? Now, granted, the quarterback's got to be the one that gets the ball there, but the athleticism of a wide receiver to me is way more impressive than a quarterback.
I mean, I think the most important part of the team is your front 7 on defense and your front 5 on offense.
Well, of course.
I mean, I think if you have a great offensive line, you can make a mediocre quarterback look amazing, right? Because nobody can cover somebody for 4 seconds. 3, yeah. But for 4, that's where you're pushing it. And the more time you give your quarterback, the more time he has to survey the defense and get somebody open. So, I mean, I'm with you that, you know, wide receiver is a sexy position. Like, let's be honest, the skill position players, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, those are the tops. Like, if you draft a really good guy for those positions, it looks good. It looks like you know what you're doing in the draft, and your fan base doesn't get mad. But, you know, if you can't protect those assets, you're fucking wasting them, you know?
Right.
And that's why I still don't get it. The latest mock draft that I heard about on the radio, they're saying that now because of these trades, Cincinnati is looking to draft Jamar Chase at number 5.
Oh, my God.
They better fucking not. Look,
wow.
Jamar Chase is amazing, right? He is probably a number 1 wide receiver for, 25 NFL teams.
Yeah.
But you can't protect your quarterback. Your quarterback is basically rehabbing from death right now
Dude,
because you had no offensive line.
if they
And you're telling
allow
me that Sewell is going to be available at number 5 and you don't take him, you're shooting yourself in the foot. It makes no fucking sense.
if they don't protect Joe Burrow, they don't want to win. Sell that fucking team, move him somewhere else because
Joe Burrow has already showed he's an NFL capable quarterback. Protect that dude.
I had my doubts on Burrow coming because he had an all-star team around him that made him look fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, but also he made every throw.
That is true.
And he looked super easy because he's that good.
And you know what? He kind of resembles Zach Wilson's story in a way because of the fact that Joe Burrow only had one great year. And then he comes to the NFL and he actually put it all together right out the gate, right?
Well, and then Joe Burrow's one great year, I think, was 60 touchdown passes.
Right.
So kind of incredible.
I could be eating my words again on it. I'm not doubting Zach Wilson. It's just, again, the whole thing that pissed me off was the comparison to Patrick Mahomes and the fact that people got all gushy over his fucking pro day. I don't get gushy over pro days. I don't get gushy over fucking combine days. I think there's enough tape out there to watch these players, with the exception of the ones that sat out for 2020, that you have enough information in front of you outside of personal interviews with them to know what you're getting from these players, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's possible that maybe they want to see, how this kid handles it, like under the spotlight, where he doesn't have a helmet on to hide and everybody's going to be in his face. And, I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point because I don't see the point of a pro day. Especially for guys that are, scheduled to go in the first round. Like, I understand if you have, your top 10 linebackers, I understand having like the 11 through 20 linebackers go through the combine. Like, I get that type of stuff, because there's going to be some names that you don't really, because you can't cover everybody. Right. How many teams are in the FBS or whatever? It's like 135.
Something like that.
Right. And each team has 40 or 50 players. There's no way that you can cover all of them and watch film on all of them. But you can kind of, hey, linebacker number 18, look at his stats. And he had 35 this, and he's got this, and he's got that. And then, you know what? He ran a 4.40 at 260 pounds. Like, that's something to look at. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I feel like pro days are for. And that's what I feel like the combine is for. But yeah, for guys like Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson and all, like, we know who they are.
Right.
We've seen, now Trey Lance, I don't really know who that guy is, but apparently he checks all the measurable boxes, and so that means that he's worth a third overall pick. I don't know, man.
God, no.
But San Francisco moving all of that draft stock to get to number 3. Will you think they're doing that for an offensive lineman?
No,
they're doing it for a quarterback. And I'm telling you right now, the only quarterback that'll be available at that spot is Justin Fields. You think? I say Kyle Trask will still be there because nobody's drafted him in the first round.
Kyle Trask's name is not being thrown around at all in the first round,
which surprises me. But that's fine. Draft him in the second or third round, and he'll be your backup, and then he'll end up taking over the starting job. I'm not really worried about it. But the Justin Fields, where is he? Why are we not talking about him anymore?
I seriously think that the national championship hurt some of his stock. Now, granted, he was hurt a little bit, but I think that game really hurt his stock in some ways.
Well, can I ask why? Like, he played well. He was hurt, but he played well.
He did play well, but the light of Alabama outshined him. I don't know basic words. I'm an idiot.
Well, we both are. We totally are. But, it has – okay, so this is Lance Zierlein, right? This is his latest mock draft that came out, I don't know, a couple hours ago.
Okay.
He has, obviously, Trevor Lawrence, number 1, Zach Wilson, number 2, Trey Lance, number 3, and then Patrick Surtain, number 4 to the Falcons. And he still has Cincinnati drafting Sewell at number 5. Thank God for that. And then Miami taking Jamar Chase, which is exactly what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to take Jamar Chase. I think that is the perfect pick for the Dolphins. They can draft the wide receiver. They have him on the other side of Devontae Parker, and then the Gesicki line tight end. I think that's great. And then now it'll be on Tua because they'll have all the pieces in place. Tua's got to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So then they have the next quarterback off the draft. So according to Lance Zierlein, the next quarterback will be drafted number 8.
Wow.
Okay, and I just told you Trey Lance is gone, Trevor Lawrence is gone, and Zach Wilson is gone. So who do you think is left? They're picking at number 8.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones going number 8. That dude, his stock has skyrocketed.
I think if San Francisco, which we both agree are probably going to take a quarterback, I see them going with Mac Jones.
Okay, can I ask why? Because Mac Jones is not a rollout guy. They want so Kyle Shanahan's offense is based on play action.
Okay.
And so that's the only reason why I can see Trey Lance going there.
Maybe through interviews or something, they can see that he's willing to be flexible, adapt to a new system.
But I mean, my thing is though, for the Carolina Panthers to draft Mac Jones, he's not a rollout guy either. Their offense is built for a guy like Justin Fields. How are they not taking him?
That's a good question.
So I guess that's what I don't understand. I mean, I'm talking about this like this is what happened. But I mean, like Lance Zierlein is a very respectable guy. I don't understand. So basically, another reason why it pisses me off is because he has Mac Jones going number 8 to the Panthers, and he has Justin Fields going number 9 to the Denver Broncos. That's not fucking happening. There's no reason for the Broncos to take Justin Fields. He's not. If it was Trevor Lawrence, okay. If it's Zach Wilson, okay. But Justin Fields, like I just don't get it.
You don't get why he's dropped down to number 9, or you don't get why why he thinks Denver would take Justin Fields.
Either one. I don't understand why Justin Fields is not the 3rd quarterback off the board.
Well, I think I can possibly answer one of these questions. I think the reason why he thinks that Denver's taking them is because they draft a quarterback, it seems like every year right now, and the system that they keep going with, the type of quarterbacks they're getting, they're trying to make a change at it. So they think Justin Fields is that change.
Well, I was going to say that's I agree with that statement. Justin Fields would be completely different from any quarterback that the Broncos have had.
Right.
So
that's
more of an athletic guy as opposed to a pocket passer with like a rocket arm. So
right.
A little bit different.
And the speed that Denver has at wide receiver, like they're going to need somebody who can make plays. And I think Justin Fields would be a good fit for that. Is he the right fit for it?
No.
Out of what's available and how deep Denver is, I say deep, they're at number 9. If Justin Fields is available at 9, you take him in a heartbeat.
See, I mean, yeah, if you don't have a quarterback, I feel like Drew Lock is, he had the sophomore slump. So he started his career by breaking his thumb and having to have surgery. So he missed a whole bunch.
Right.
And then came back, played pretty well towards the end of the year, and then got hurt again. And so week 1 of the following season, he got hurt. So he was out for 3 or 4 weeks. He hurt his throwing shoulder, actually. And then came back, and he actually played pretty well down the stretch. Like the last 5 games, he played pretty well. They didn't win, but he played pretty well. And then he's done that he's had 2 offensive coordinators, and they didn't have any OTAs. They had no offseason, no preseason, right? And then it's, just normal for a quarterback to have that sophomore slump.
Right.
I don't think it's time to eject on Drew Lock yet. And so, okay, even if you want to eject on him, is Justin Fields that much better?
Based off this draft, everybody else that's been taken, I mean, who else would be left outside of your boy from Florida?
Well, right, and that's what I'm saying.
Or the kid from A&M.
Well, I don't think he's an NFL quarterback either. But I mean, I feel like if you are going to draft a quarterback and you're going to draft one in the first round, that immediately means that the quarterback you have is not your starter.
Well, of course.
But if you're not going to trade him because you haven't traded him yet, then I mean, when you're bringing in Justin Fields to compete with Drew Lock, you're going to actually make it an open competition? I don't think so. I don't think that happens. I think you draft somebody in the first round, he's your starter.
We've seen weirder shit, man.
I mean, yeah, I feel like if I'm the Denver Broncos, I would hold on to Drew Lock and I would draft a quarterback in the third round. And then that way I have a backup and then I can go get like a veteran free agent. And then that way the two young guys can learn from the veteran free agent of how to prepare, how to study film, like what he's looking for and all that kind of stuff. And then that way they can all be better. And then if the third quarterback you draft, or the quarterback you draft in the third round, if he turns out to be, Kyle Trask and he takes over, well, then you're in a win-win scenario because you're not paying first round draft pick money because Justin Fields is going to command some money.
No.
I mean, it's still going to be a rookie contract and they're structured to not hurt the teams, but you're going to pay a hell of a lot more for a guy at number 9 than you are at number, 59.
True.
So I'm just not, to be fair, I'm not 100% sold on Justin Fields anyway.
Right.
But I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that if it's not Trevor Lawrence and it's not Zach Wilson, then don't draft a quarterback in the first round because nobody else has the first round grade except for Justin Fields. And I think that's a shot in the dark at best. So,
but you look at again, we're basing everything off this one mock draft, right?
True.
Yeah, those of you who are listening, go off your own draft or whatever you want. If you disagree with us, let us know. But I mean, you look at everything that Lance has put out there. I mean,
he's pretty knowledgeable.
Justin Fields at 9 is not a bad pick. Considering what's available, everything that Denver's done so far with their defense in the free agency and the offseason so far, they've beefed up their defense, so they're not going to go for one of the top cornerbacks. Their O-line is somewhat solid. They're not going to go with O-line. I mean,
well, but my thing is, me being a fan,
right?
I want him to draft a linebacker from Penn State. That's who I want him to get.
Well, they might
because they have no linebackers. Micah Parsons is a beast.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons. Did I say that right?
Something like that.
Whatever. The guy from Penn State is a beast, and Penn State makes badass linebackers. And this dude has mad talent. And
you really don't see Denver drafting a wide receiver. They drafted 2 wide receivers last year.
No, wide receiver is not a place. I don't see him drafting a tight end either.
Yeah, Noah Fant is an up-and-coming tight end that I think we're going to start hearing a little bit more about him in the event Drew Lock can get back on Drew Lock roll.
Yeah. We need a quarterback that can throw the football to get Fant to where he needs to be. But
I mean, Bradley Chubb's coming back off, hopefully being completely full health. Is that right? Wasn't he hurt last year, or who am I thinking of?
Cortland Sutton.
No, on defense.
Oh! I didn't hear you said. I was
Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, Bradley Chubb got hurt. Von Miller got hurt.
Right, and Von Miller, they went ahead and took care of him for one more year.
Yeah, they restructured him. I think they restructured him, and then depending on how he does, they're going to sign him to a 3-year deal at the end of next season, and that way they just lock him up for his career.
And then you're looking at Josie Jewell and Alexander Johnson.
Yeah, so those guys don't really strike fear in the heart of any offense. So that's why I think Micah Parsons is somebody that they seriously need to consider.
So
I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with them drafting a cornerback because we beefed up. We signed a bunch of veterans. I get it, but if you can sign a third cornerback, or you can draft a third cornerback, I'm sorry, I feel like that makes. Remember when the Broncos had Bradley Roby?
Yeah,
they had Bradley Roby, and then they had Chris Harris, and they had Aqib Talib.
Yeah,
that was a lockdown secondary. And so, running 3 cornerbacks out there is not a bad idea.
With you talking about Micah Parsons, Lance has got New England drafting him. If he drops down to 15 to New England, that's going to be scary.
Yeah, because he's a good player.
Right.
He's a very good cover linebacker, and I guess we just lost you.
No, we're good.
But he's a very good cover linebacker. He's very fast. I feel like if the Broncos could get him in the middle of that defense, it's going to be hard to throw the ball against them. Then the weakness becomes the run game, like right up the middle. But we'll see. There's still some more players to be drafted and players to be signed and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, to see Bill Belichick get another linebacker, that's great. I don't want to see it.
Well, we're only, I think, 5 weeks away from the draft. And we're repeating ourselves. We're a broken record. Once this draft comes up, man, that we're going to start seeing the stars align a little bit more as far as where these teams settle. And then we can go ahead and start picking back up from the breakdowns as the rest of the league.
Yeah.
I do want to play another game with you. I don't know if you'd call it a game or more of an opinionated question.
Okay.
Or questions. All right. So there are some single game records in the NFL.
Okay.
And I want to know which one you think is going to be broken first, whether it be next year or in the future. Okay.
Okay.
7 sacks.
Ooh.
Which was done by Derek Thomas in 1990.
Oh, so it's a pretty stout record then for 30 years.
336 reception yards by Flipper Anderson in 1989.
Hold on, let me write these down. So 7 sacks since 1990.
Yep.
300 and how many yards?
36 reception yards.
And then when was that?
1989.
Jeez.
4 pass interceptions, 2010 by D'Angelo Hall.
All right.
296 rushing yards by Adrian Peterson in 2007.
298?
96.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. Most passing yards, 554 passing yards, 1951.
God. So which one will be broken first?
Hold on, there's one more.
Oh, chingo.
6 touchdowns scored in 1965.
Wow. So that's just total touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like receiving and rushing, I guess.
I'm assuming so.
Okay. Well, I mean, when did Adrian Peterson do that? In 09?
07.
So his rookie year. Okay. Wow. Well, 7 sacks, 336 receiving yards, and then 554 passing yards and 6 touchdowns have been up there for a while. 4 interceptions to the same guy. I don't think that's going to happen. So let's go ahead and eliminate that. All right, 296 rushing yards in a single game. Can Derrick Henry do that? I'd have to look at Dalvin Cook's schedule, and I'd have to look at Derrick Henry's schedule. But I would say that might be broken first. So basically, they'd have to rush for 300 yards in a game.
Right.
So, yeah, is that going to happen? Not on Madden. Well, I don't know. Let's put a star by that one. So maybe that one. 7 sacks. I don't think that's happening. 7 sacks is insane. And then now with the way they rotate players and stuff, I don't think that one's going to be it. Let's see. 336 receiving yards. This is a passing league, and that happened in 1989.
Yep.
So, all right, let's put a star by that one. And then 554 passing yards. That's 1951. That's been a long time, but let's put a star by that one. And then 6 touchdowns. I don't think that's going to happen.
You know,
I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen. I'm just saying I don't think that'll be the next one. That's pretty tough. Because usually, if you score 6 touchdowns in a game, you're probably blowing somebody the fuck out. So you're probably not going to be on the field to get. Remember how hard it was for Alvin Kamara to get his 5th rushing touchdown?
Looking at it right now, he ties
Oh
for
no, he
the.
got the 6th, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, but did you watch that game?
No.
They had to like take him off the field a bunch of times, and then when they got close, they put him back in so he could get the stats. And it was like, I don't know, 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, and they didn't even need the points. They just ran him anyway. So with like today's mentality of like protecting their players and protecting their assets, I don't think that's going to happen. So all right, so then it's a toss up between 336 receiving yards, basically 300 rushing yards, 254 passing yards. All right, so we're going to eliminate the rushing yards. Because I just don't see that. Because I think Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry have a shot, but I think that it's possible their teams could be so far behind that they would have to throw, and so accumulating those kind of stats would be either they're blowing a team out and they wouldn't accumulate those stats because they wouldn't be on the field, or they'd be so far behind they'd have to throw. I just don't see that happening. So, man, I'm gonna say 554 passing yards gets broken this season.
This season?
This season.
Wow.
I thought that was the question.
No, I said either this season or moving forward in the future.
So the next record for the regular season.
Right.
Broken.
Which of these
for a
records?
single game.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still going to say 554 passing yards. I mean, obviously it's going to be a game where it goes into overtime and it's going to be like 47-40 would be like the final score.
So I'm kind of on the fence with you on that one. And while we're on the topic of that one, like I said, that was back in 1951 by Norm Van Brocklin.
Okay.
There are 2 quarterbacks tied for second, and you won't believe where they're from or who they are. Both from Houston. One is Warren Moon when he was with the Oilers, and the other one is Matt Schaub. Both of them tied at 527 yards in a single game.
Wow.
That's a little nugget for you out there that are listening or care.
That's crazy. So one played for the Oilers/Titans, and the other one played for the Texans.
Yep.
And one of them, I bet you can't guess who, one of them had people show up at his house and threaten to kick his ass.
I have no clue.
Matt Schaub.
I know.
Were you the first one there?
Shush. There's an ongoing investigation, sir.
I can't comment.
So I can see that, and of course I want to be the NFL fan and just say, oh, that's going to be Patrick Mahomes that does that, which I honestly see some truth to that. But I think the 4 interceptions in a game is probably going to be broken before.
But 4 interceptions to one guy?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think they just stop fucking throwing the ball to that side of the field?
Well, if you're a free safety and you're roaming around, like you putting yourself into plays, it's kind of hard, right?
That's true. It's kind of hard.
But you look at that, there are a lot of people that are tied for that record. We got
4 interceptions?
Yeah.
Wow.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Good
13,
God.
14 players that have tied for that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think it's something that can be done. The most recent looks like it was back in 2010. Yeah, that was with D'Angelo Hall.
Okay.
So,
I mean, there are rookie quarterbacks that are coming in the league every year.
mm-hmm.
There are quarterbacks that get hurt and their backups have to step in, and crazy things happen.
Carson Wentz has been around for a while, and he led the league in interceptions.
That's what I'm saying. Like every year, there's always a quarterback that's going to have one really shitty game.
I'm sorry, I confused sacks with interceptions. He didn't lead that.
Yeah, I don't think he led the league in interceptions.
But I mean, even look when Jameis Winston was a starter, and he's possibly going to be a starter again. So,
where's he going to start?
New Orleans.
I don't think so. I mean,
in all reality, I would rather put him over Taysom Hill. But we all know my.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
my opinion on that.
Hill experience.
Right.
I'm not a fan.
Oh, yeah. So
Well, so you don't think anybody's going to get 336 receiving yards?
No.
I mean,
No.
I don't even see Devontae Adams doing that.
No.
And he's, a beast.
When I came across those, and I was like, surely some of these have been broken, right? No. Golly, no.
Crazy.
The 7 sacks, no. I don't see that whatsoever.
Yeah.
336 reception yards. You just have to have the shittiest secondary.
It'd be really funny, like, to go back and look at his stat line. It was probably like 5 receptions for 336 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Adrian Peterson running for almost 300 rushing yards in a single game.
As a rookie.
That will never happen. Nobody will even.
I can guarantee that there won't be a rookie that ever does that. No fucking way.
I don't even think there's going to be a vet.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, that a veteran, maybe, right? A guy that's been in the league, kind of explosive. I could see that. But a rookie just coming out and just running over a team for 300 rushing yards, that's not going to happen. So, and to be fair, if we look at Adrian Peterson, he was a fucking specimen. So, I mean,
Adrian Peterson had that in 2007. Yeah. The next one behind him, all right, Adrian Peterson, 296 yards. Behind him was Jamal Lewis with 295 in 03.
Yep.
09, Jerome Harrison for Cleveland had 286.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
So the closest one that I'm seeing right now at number 9, Jonathan Taylor, last year, his rookie season, 253.
Okay.
So
who's that against? Does it say?
It was against the Jaguars.
Okay. Well,
and
they're playing the Jaguars again this year.
They got to play them twice. Adrian Peterson did it against the San Diego Chargers.
Okay.
Oh, was LT on that team?
2000, I think so.
Oh my God, that must have been. I want to see the stat lines on that. I wonder if. Oh, it was 35-17. Yeah, that
was the score. 35-17.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Oh yeah, well, but I think Adrian Peterson had 4 rushing touchdowns. I think
LT rushed for 1 touchdown for a total of 40 yards.
Oh, that's freaking brutal.
Right.
You get shown up by the rookie like that.
Adrian Peterson rushed for 296 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and.
Well, hey, look, since we're on it.
Okay.
You're drafting a team. You need a running back.
Okay.
You can have LaDainian Tomlinson's career,
or
you can have Adrian Peterson's career. Neither one of them won a Super Bowl.
With or without AP getting in trouble for whooping his kid?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and just say it's both their careers.
So as is.
As is.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say that because it also depends on my O-line.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's just say
you give me Dallas's O-line back in the day.
Well, let's say you had Dallas's offense when they went 13-3, when they had like the stout offensive line.
Oh my God, dude.
Or like, let's say you had New England's offensive line in 2010.
I'll take Dallas's O-line because.
Well, I'm just saying, like, just you had a stout offensive line.
I would probably, dude. I want to go with LT so bad, but Adrian Peterson was a monster.
Now, like, LT is one of the best running backs I've ever seen, and I'm going to take Adrian Peterson.
I'm with you on that. I've got to go with AP on it. AP was just so smooth, man. Just some of the moves he did. Just
everybody always criticized him because he ran too tall. Like his pad level's too high. Oh yeah, well his pad level, just put your dick in the dirt. So I don't even care where his pads were. That guy was such a phenomenal talent. Then fucked up his knee. But he tore like his ACL and his MC, like just blew it apart.
Yep.
Went through rehab and then still rushed for 1,000 yards when he came back the next season. The guy is a machine. I would much rather. I think I would take Adrian Peterson.
I'd like to say thank God we have Madden so we can kind of simulate these kind of things, but it doesn't reach the real factor of everything.
So, okay,
right?
So then, all right, we're going to put Adrian Peterson ahead of LaDainian Tomlinson. So let's say running backs all time. Where's Adrian Peterson?
Oh,
does he crack the top 10? Because I'm not saying he does.
No, but
There's just too many good running backs to kind of discredit.
that's true. And you know what? Hit me with that question on the next podcast. I'm going to do my
That's what
homework.
we need to do. We need to come up with, it's March Madness, the bracket's going on.
Ooh.
We're going to come up with a 64-person bracket for running backs.
I'm going to look at seeing how I can't make that into a public thing. All you listeners out there, if you want to get in on this running back March Madness bracket BS that we try to start up.
Hell yeah. Just hit us up on Twitter.
Hit us up, and
Facebook,
once I can figure out how I can get this on an open forum and we can compare you, the listeners, to us, that'll be fun. We'll get that rolling.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Man, another great show. Thank you for joining me. Glad you could see me.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, I'm glad we got to see each other.
Hey, all y'all listening, don't forget we're on all the social medias: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, everything. Like, share, comment. Tell your grandma about us. She probably wants to listen because she's probably already a fan. So hit us up. We truly appreciate y'all. Y'all enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you on the next go round. Adios, assholes.